Hello guys, hello, how are you? I hope you enjoy yesterday, that holiday for you, that September 15th, that you represent for us like our independence. So and this is very nice because we love our country. We love and I love my country and I won't change my country. And I hope you too. So now guys, continue with the class. So everybody take a relax. So today we are going to be reading more about August. Okay? So, and as you know, every day we know more about a new word. So you remember the word that we were talking about yesterday and that we were discussing, and I hope you could understand very well what that word means. And I hope that you could really get involved with that word of yesterday. So now, you remember that word of yesterday? The yesterday word? Yes, because I remember too that the yesterday word was yesterday word was a struggle. The struggle is when you are walking or moving slowly. For example, if you're making a line to buy something, you're making a line where you are struggling. So, but coming to the word of today is sue. You know what is sue? So it's a very slow flow of liquid. It's a very slow flow so of liquid. We can see that soup is liquid. Let's know this. Read the example. Example, sometimes if we press too hard on the floor glue, we'll sew from the tiles and it's dry. Miss Mastrella crazy. Sometimes if we press too hard on the floor, glue will sew. The glue, when you're pressing the glue or the shoe, you're pressing the shoe, sorry, the glue, the glue is going to give you a shoe. Okay, that liquid thing is the shoe or the glue, of the glue, okay? That's the shoe. So now we're going to learn about how we can identify this in the reading of today. So, nice guy, let's continue and let's go ahead. So I have a little phrase of today. Please keep this phrase on your mind, and this phrase will help us to understand better the reading of today. So if I walk into a class with a frown on my face and start slamming things on desk, what do you infer about my mood? Think, think, guys. If I walk into the class and if I slam everything that I touch, that I start slamming things on my desk. If I have a pencil and I have a book on my desk and I start slamming all these things, slamming is like when you are so what you are going to infer about my mood. Don't tell me, keep in your mind, and we're going to be developing this reading on this paragraph on the book. So let's go, guys, and go ahead. So today we're going to read about Wake Me Up When September Ends. So let's go to read what this makes sense for us. So the rest of September was hard. It was used to getting up so early in the morning. I wasn't used to this whole notion of homework. And I got my first quiz. At the end of the month, I never got quizzes. When mom homeschooled me, I also didn't like how I had to no free time anymore before. I was able to play nowhere whenever I want to. But now I felt like I always had stuff to do for school. So this here we can see at the end of September, August were making some quizzes. So in this way, August was needed to make these quizzes. So, and he don't like to make quizzes. So, but let's go continue reading about what else we can learn about it. And being at school was helpful in the beginning. Every new class I had was like a new chance for kids to not stare at me. They would neck pics at me from behind their notebooks, or when they thought I wasn't looking, they would take the longest ways around me to avoid bumping into me. And anyway, like I had some germs they could catch, like my face was contagious. So here we can see that when he was walking and he was going for whatever place in the school, that the people, that child was avoid him because like August, like if he have germs, people don't want to touch him by these things. So I would feel discriminated and I would feel very bad for this. So let's go. In the hallways, which were always crowned, my face will always surprise some unsuspecting kind kid who maybe hadn't heard about me. The kid will make the sound you make when you hold your breath before going underwater. A little sound. It's happened maybe for 5 times a day. For the first few weeks on the stairs in front of the locker in the library, 500 kids in the school, eventually every one of them was going to see my face at some time, and I knew after the first couple of days that word had gotten around about me because every once I wa every once in a while I'd catch a kid elbowing his friend as they pass me or talking behind their hands as I walk by them. I can only imagine what they were saying about me. Actually, I prefer to do not even try to imagine it. So when all the boys were talking, when August was talking or was passing by around all these guys were talking about him. August doesn't know what he was talking because all the guys around the school was watching his face. I don't know what this guy was discussing about it. So August said that he doesn't imagine what they were talking about. I'm not saying they were doing any of these things. I mean, wait, by the way, not once did any kind loud or make noises or do anything like that. They were just being normal dumb kids. And I know that. I kind of wanted to tell them that I like it. Okay. I know I'm weird. Look and take a look. I don't beat. Hey, the truth is, if a Wookiee start going to the school all of a sudden, I'd be curious. I'd probably start a bit. And if I was walking with a Jack or Summer, I'd probably whisper to them, hey, there's the Wookiee. And if he Wookiee counts me saying that he'd know I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just pointing out the fact he is a Wookiee. So the kid was we discussing that the guys, the kids, that he was like a Wookiee, like a normal kid, things like that. And Agus was curious to know what they were talking about him, what they were making sense about him. So this was stressful for him. I took about 1 week for the kids in my class to get used to my face. These were the kids I see every day in all my classes. I took about 2 weeks for the rest of my kids in my grades to get used to my face. These were the kids I see in the cafeteria your time, PE, music, library, computer class. I took about a month for the rest of the kids in the entire school to get used to it. These were the kids in all the other grades. They were big kids. Some of them, some of them had crazy haircuts. Some of them had earrings in their noses. Some of them had pimples. No one of them looked like me. So August feel different. August feel different. August feel very nice. August feel like he is different from all the guys. So now let's read about Jack Will. We already discovered about who is Jack Will, right? So you did an assignment about this the last week. I hope you already did it. Now let's go to read it. Jack Will. I hang out with Jack in homework, English, history, computer, music, and science, which we are, which were all the classes we have together that teachers assign sets in every class. And I end up sitting next to Jack in every single class. So I figured either the teachers were told to put me and Jack together, or it was a totally incredible coincidence. It was a coincidence because Jack was sitting near or close to August. I went to class with Jack too. I know he noticed kids staring at me, but he pretended to not notice one time. So, on our way to history, this hawk, eighth graders who was zooming down the stairs 2 steps at a time accidentally bumped into us at the bottom of the stairs and knocked me down. As the guy helped me stand up, he got a look at my face and without even meaning to, he just said, whoa. Then he patted me at the shoulders like he was dusting me off. I thought after his friend for some reason. Me and Jack start cracking up. So here we can see that Jack and he was Jack and August while looking the other guys, and August start feel disgusted by all these guys. That guy make funny face. Say Jack as we sat down on our desk. Jack tells told to August that this guy, the other guys, was making funny face for them. All of them was making funny faces. So I know, right? I said, he was like, whoa. I swear, I think he is wet his pants. I swear, I think he wet his pants. We were laughing so hard that the teacher, Mr. Roche, had to ask us to settle down because they thought that the other kid wet his pants, and they started to laugh. Later, after we finished reading about how ancient Sumerians built sundials, Jack whispered, "Do you ever want to beat those kids up?" I I struggled. I guess. I don't know. I will say. I want to. I think you should get to secret a square gun or something and attach it to your eye somehow. And every time someone started you, you will spear them and its face with some green slime, with some green slime or something. I answered, no, no, with the slug juice mixed with duck feet. Yeah, I said completely agreed. Guys, said Mr. Rush across the room, people are still reading. So they were talking about like Jack wants to fight, Jack wants to have a gun, something like that, to feed or to fight with these people. Okay, because Jack is not feeling comfortable. Like they are talking about him and they are talking about August. So Mr. Roach was telling them that please keep silence or the guys are reading. The guys are reading. So we noted and looked down at our books, and then Jack whispered, "Are you always going to look this way, August? I mean, you can't practice Turkey or something?" I smiled and I pointed to my face. Hello, hello. This is after classes Turkey. Jack clapped his hand over his forehead and started shouting hysterically, you should sue the doctor, he answered between giggles. This time the two of us were shouting so much we couldn't stop even after Mr. Roach came over and made us both a wheat shirt with the kids next to us. So, like, Jack was making like a joke for him that he needs to visit the surgery about the plastic that Agus is carrying in his mouth. For that reason, Agus is like the pension of the school at the time. So, but that was just a kidding. At the end, Mr. Roche, that thing that is switch their chairs and change their position when they were sitting. So, so now let's go and continue reading about apples. Let's know what its apple talks about. My birthday. We are talking about the birthday of August. Please pay careful attention to this, guys. My birthday is October 10th. I like my birthday, 10-10. It will be great if I'd been born in exactly 10-10. In the morning or at night, but I wasn't. I was born just after midnight. But I still think my birthday is cool. I usually have a little part at home. But this year I asked Mom if I could have a big birthday party. Mom was surprised by but happy. I asked She asked me who I wanted to ask from my class, and I said everyone in my room to a summer. So we just wasn't about that. She invites all her classmates. That's a lot of kids, I said Mom. I have to invite everyone because I don't want anyone their to get their feelings hurt if they find out other people they are invited and they invited they aren't okay. Okay, Mom, I agree. You even want to buy the what's that deal kit? Yeah, you can invite Julian. I answered this. Mom, you should forget about that right away. You should forget about that forgetting. I know you are right. A couple of weeks later, I asked Mom who was coming to my party, and she said, Jack Will, Summer, really kick, Box, Bud, Bud Maxet, and a couple of other kids said they were going to try to be there. So I just invite all of them. The mother doesn't want that Julia can arrive to the birthday because Julia has been a bad guy with August. Like who? Charlotte mom said Charlotte had a dance recital earlier in the day, but she was going to try to come to the party if time allowed. And Tristan mom said he might come after his soccer game. So that's it. I said like that, 5 people. That's more than 5 people. I think a lot of people just had plans already. Mom's answered. We were in the kitchen. She was cutting one of the apples, and we had just gotten to the farmer's market into Tennessee Wednesday beets, so I could eat it. What kind of plants? I asked. I don't know again. We sent out the bites kind of late. Like, like what did they tell you, Doc? What reason did they give? Everyone gave different reasoning. She sounded like a big empathy. Really, sweetie, it should matter what the reason were. People had plans. That's all. What did Julian give us as his reason? I asked. You know, said Mom. His mom was no only person who didn't rip all at all. The mom doesn't want to invite all these kids, but some of the kids were really bad with August. I laughed because I thought she was making a joke, but then I realized she wasn't. I was thinking, okay, my mom was making a joke, but the mom had has all the truth, was saying all the truth. Right? What does that mean? I asked. I never mind. No, go wash your hands and so you can eat. My birthday party turned out to be much smaller than I thought it would be. But it was still great. Jack Sommer, Ray, Tristan, and Bo Maxis came from school, and Christopher came too, all the way from Bridgeport with his parents and uncle being Kate and Aunt Kate and Uncle Paul, Joe in the from Boston. Tuck, Tata, and Papa were in Florida for the winter. It was fun because all of them grown-ups and in flowing in the lane next 2 hours. So it really felt like there were a lot of people to celebrate my birthday. So that was funny because we can see that August was not a bad guy. He invites older classmates, even if he knew that all of them were very bad with him, but he invited them. So now it's all about Halloween. At lunch the next day, summer, I asked me what I was going to be for Halloween. Of course, I've been thinking about it since last Halloween. I knew right away. Boba Fett. You know you can wear a costume to school to Halloween, right? No way, really. So long as it was politically correct. What like no guns on stuff? Exactly. What about blaster? I think a blaster like a gun. Oh man, I said shaking my head. Boba Fett has a blaster. At last, we don't have to come like a character in a book anymore. In a lower school, that's what you had to do. Last year, I was that week which on the west from a Wizard of Oz. But that's movie, not a book. That's a movie, not a book. Hello, Summer answered. I was. It was a book first. One of my favorite books in the world. Actually, my dad used to read it to me every night in the first grade. When Summer talks, especially when he excited about something, her eyes. So Queen's like she's looking right at the sun. Hardly ever summer during the day since the only class we have together in is English. But even ever since that first lunch at school, we sat on the summer table together every day, just the two of us. So that we are going to be. I asked her. I don't know yet. I know what I really want to go has, but I think it might be too working. Don't you know Savannah's group isn't even wearing costumes this year. They think we're too old for Halloween. What? That's just dumb. I know, right? I thought you didn't care about those girls things. Sure, sugar, and took a long drink to her meal. So, what dorky thing do you want to dress up? And her asked for him, smiling. So they were talking about what they want to wear for Halloween. They're taking idea of books, of text to get the dress. I promise not to laugh. She raised her eyebrows on her shoulders and bars and uniform. I smiled and looked down at the sandwich. Hey, you promised not loud, she laughed. Okay, okay, I said. But you are right, and it's too dirty. I know, she said, but I have it all planned out. I make the head out of papier match, and I paint the horn gold, and make the name gold too. I will be so awesome. Okay, Truggle, then you should do it. Who cares about people think right? So maybe I just wear in the Halloween party. And she said, snake her fingers, and I'll be just like a gold light over the school. Yeah, that's what I do. Sounds like a plan, Snortle. Snortle. Thanks, Hanky. I get you. You know, that's what I like the best about you. I feel like I can't tell you anything. Yeah, I answered, nodding. I get her. that thumbs up sign could be. So this we can see that August is making feel comfortable the other classmate. The other classmate can tell him another things, and the other classmate feel comfortable telling him whatever thing. So it's nice to know. August has this talent. So now let's going to read about school pictures. The school picture, let's go. I don't think anyone will be shocked to learn. I don't want to have my school pictures taken by October 22, when it's Halloween. No way. No, thank you. I'm not letting anyone take picture of me a while ago. I guess you could call it a Sophia. No, actually, it is not Sophia. In a version, which is a word I just learned in Mr. Brown's class. I have a version to having my picture taken there. I use I used it in a sentence. I thought mom was trying to get me to drop any aversions to having my picture taken for school, but she didn't. Unfortunately, while I managed to avoid having the portrait taken, I couldn't get out of the being part of the class picture. Oh, the photographer looked like he just sucked on the lemon when he saw me. I'm sure he thought I didn't ring the picture. I was one of the ones in the front sitting down. I didn't smile at the ones who couldn't tell if I had. So, because you hear that they are taking out that picture Halloween, and August was thinking that the moment the moms was the ones who going to take the picture for him, but the mom didn't do it, and August didn't smile for the picture. The person takes the picture and he doesn't smile. So sad, right? So now let's go to read about that cheese touch. I noticed not too long ago that even though people were getting used to me, no one will actually touch me. I didn't realize this at first because it is not like kids go around touching each other that much in middle school anyway. But last Thursday in dance class, which is like the last favorite class, Mrs. Atanabi, the teacher tried to make Ximena Chim be my dance partner. Ooh, they are going to dance with Ximena. I was going to dance with Ximena. Chim, Chim. Now I ever actually seen anyone have a panic attack before, but I have heard about it. I am not pretty sure that Ximena had a panic attack at that second. She got really nervous and turned pale and literally broke into a sweet tiny a minute. And then she came out with some lame excuse about really having to go to the bathroom. Anyway, Mr. Atibani let her off to the hook because she ended up not making anyone dance together. That yesterday in my science elective, we were doing the school mystery powder investigation where we have to classify the substance and the acid of a base. Everyone had to hit their mystery powder in the hidden plate and make observations. So we are all huddled around the power stone with our notebooks. Now there are 8 kids in the elective, and 7 of them were squinted together on one side of the plate, while one of them me had loads of room on one of the sides. So of the course I noticed this, but this was hoping Miss Robbins wouldn't notice this because I didn't want her to say something. But of course she did notice that of course she said something. So we can say that they are making an experiment, making an investigation about the science class, and there's happening something that August didn't notice to the teacher. But finally, she gets noticed to the teacher. Yes. Guys, there are plenty of room at the side 3 times. Nino, go over there, she said. So 3 times, and Nino is scrolling over the side. 3 times, and Nino have always been okay, nice to me. I want to go to that record has said that no super nice, like they go out or their way to hang out with me, but Okay, nice. Like they say hello to Rubin told me that to come to the site, which a lot of kids to when they think I'm not looking. Anyway, everything was going fine until three times mystery powder started melting. He moved his foil on the plate just as my palm began to melt. So two, which is why I went to mode 9 with a plate. And then my hand accidentally bumped his hand for a fraction of a second. Three times Merkel his hand. Anyway, so fast, he dropped his foil on the floor while also knocking everyone else foil of the head in place. So we can see that accidentally I just moved his plate and throw the experiment to other classmates. That was an accident. Tristan yelled Mrs. Rubin, but Tristan didn't even care about the split founders on the floors on the he ruined the experiment. That was his most concern about what's getting into the lab sink. To wash his hands as fast as possible. That's when I knew for sure that there was this thing about touching me at Beecher Cliff. I think it's like a cheese toast in dairy on the whipping kids. The kids in that story were afraid. They cast the cooties and they cut the old lovely cheese on the basketball court. And Beecher creams and only Malville cheese. So we can see that the experiment was like a cheese, and break they break down the experiment, and they couldn't finish the experiment. So and this guy Tristan went to the bathroom to wash his hands because we can see that this was like very toxic. Okay, so thank you guys. This has been everything. Please make a comment at the end of the video about what you understand, and you need to answer some question about the story. So how you put the idea about this story about the birthday of August, the experiment of August 2, and the birthday of Halloween 2. Thank you guys so much. See you tomorrow. And don't forget to make the assignment in class. Bye guys. Take care. See you.